Hello and welcome everyone. Today we'll discuss about the importance of saying no. So why this discussion is because I was one of those people who struggled with saying no. Well, we were not born inherent with such character, but I remember how it developed. When I was in my village, I had a friend who was very stubborn, and we had a very friend a very good relationship. It was wherever we want to go, we would hang out together. If we have to do something, then we would do together. However, there were times, and many a times, we struggled with the ideas that he wanted to do the things in his way, and I wanted to do the things in my way. So we often find ourselves struggling to do in a certain way. So gradually I found myself that I was the one who was compromising the most of my ideas or my desires. Like, for example, if I if we had to go to a certain place, and it had two ways, and if I wanted to take the first route, and if he insists to take the another route, that we would often fought upon it. And yeah, he it's he was such a stubborn guy. uh how I'm not saying that I struggle with his stubbornness. It was all because of me. So I often find it illogical. It's baseless to argue on such a topic where you don't have any logic reason, right? It doesn't matter which route you take, which one is better. It fundamentally leads to the same place. So yeah, I often find myself I started, or I preferred to avoid the argument or quarrel, because when we argue, it often led um, to silence. We don't talk for like minutes or hours, and I would avoid such circumstances. Whenever something happens, I would think about those circumstances. This will happen when we are not talking again. This awkward silence. Yeah, I started avoiding, and I gradually found myself that I was I became more agreeable person. And then I went to school, where I remember I will discuss about this specific incident where I couldn't say no, and which consequently uh, let me struggle for I mean, let me struggle. I remember I suffered for not agreeing to that particular request. And I also remember when I was in school, I would think that this is a kindness, and then I had developed this feeling that if I don't agree to what a person asks or person requests to me, then it's bad. It's bad. I feel guilt for not being um, fulfilling their expectations, the friendship. I feel that it hurt their feelings, and now they are going to retaliate if someday I request them, or they would take it personally. All this sorts of thinking was gradually developed in my mind. So then I remember in my ninth grade, when uh, there was a storm, a heavy storm, which I mean, the heavy storm, the orographic rain that continued for 7 weeks, which result in the landslides. All the roads were damaged, and there were no connectivity, the supply, the ration, everything was stopped, and people were surviving on the stock they had in their home. Our schools were closed. We were on plain rice with water. I mean, we were surviving on that. So our teachers, they don't didn't they don't left with any option. They left with no any other option but to send each student to their respective relatives or family and then and at the same time, since I had my parents in the town, however, I had my guardian in nearby village where I and then I thought to go there. I asked them that I had my guardian, and I asked some of my friends too if invited them if they want to come along with me, because uh, some of them do not have guardian in the nearby village as well. So I called them, and however, before even going to my guardian, we had decided that next day when we reach our guardian's place, we will sleep for one night, and the next day we'll go to we'll leave for our town. That means we will be passing through all the landslides, all the blocks, and yeah, it was risky. However, we had decided. So we took ropes, we took shoes, we took all the necessary essential equipment like lamps. We knew that we had to walk at night, so we took each of us took our own lamps. We went to my aunt's place, who was also my guardian, and now and the next day we left before even letting bef- um, left not letting my aunt know about the the goal, the objective. We left, and I think when she came back from her work, she was surprised that we were not at home, and she was I mean, she was so much, she scared so much that these small kids, they left without informing her, and that the road is blocked, and there was still rain, so we don't know where we could encounter the landslide, and we don't know the circumstances, but it was decided we had to go. So we left at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I remember one of my friend was taking books. Yeah, he was taking. He had this 3 4 guides with him, and initially I said to him that I didn't say it, but we were discussing that we should take only the essential goods, which we will need in the way. Well, I don't know. He didn't listen to us, and in the meanwhile, when we were walking, he. He felt tired. I forgot to mention that we had to cover 100 kilometers by foot, and yeah, and it's better to minimize our weight on the back. The guy who had those guides and books, he I think before even covering 50 kilometer, he felt tired, and he asked to keep his book with us, he having said that um, um, if you have some space, please keep my books inside your bag. um, I don't know, looking back at it, I get mad at myself for accepting that request. I put two guides and I carried them. It was it was thick, man. And meanwhile, I was frustrated. You know, I was mad at him for letting me carry his book. I don't know why. I mean, I couldn't say no when he was requesting. However, it was and yeah, I carried him all the way and I suffered. However, gradually I realized that it's important to say no to the other people. It doesn't matter if the person is hurt to your rejection, or it's sometimes, you know, you have to prioritize yourself. And yeah, I started saying no if a person asks, if my friend asks me to go with him, if I don't find it interesting, or I don't find, I don't like to do certain things, or I don't like to do go to that place or do things, then I would say no straight to their mouth, and it doesn't matter anymore. I would I would consider it as being more about yourself. Well, it's important to remember that a person who cares about you, who sees you as a true friend, will never feel bad about you, or never held any grudge against you for not being able to help you. However, there are circumstances. There you need to understand that you there are circumstances and people who really need your help, and it's worth helping them uh, by sacrificing a little bit of your time. Yeah, even though it's helping them, it's going to help you back, at least at some point of your relationship with that particular person. And yeah, it's important to say no. And I say no. However, I still struggle sometimes, even if I don't want to do certain things, but a person insists or requests me for again and again, that I often agree to them. But it depends on the cases, you know. If it's extreme for me, then I'm not going to agree in any ways. I'm not going to compromise myself. So that's it. Thank you.